Hello, amazing world, LinkedIn, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Boss Ladies Summit for the beautiful month of March 2023. And can we please give it up for these amazing boss ladies? We've got fabulous Loretta, we've got Eileen Avard, we've got Nant Nissen joining us for the first time, we've got Belinda Paris joining us for the first time, and of course as well, we've got Edward Airlines here. So as Loretta now calls herself, fabulous Loretta, Loretta's call sign's fabulous. My call sign is Airline. So welcome. Great having you all with us. Now, I just want to say we're going to work around with these panelists. We're going to be having a chat with Belinda, Nant, Eileen, and Loretta in this order. We might have a few more panelists chatting later. Now, the topic for this amazing International Women's Day is embrace equity. And it's actually a little bit controversial as well. I was doing some research on it over the past few days. And embrace equity, the theme for International Women's Day, starts with equal opportunities aren't enough. Women need more to get more of a seat at the table. And that's a bit of a discussion there. Not everyone has different views of what equity is or what it should be. So, of course, we're going to talk about that. And it's just so good having you with us. Now, if you just tuned in, please like, share, and comment. Connect with these wonderful ladies on LinkedIn. And let's get to it. Of course, we're going to open with Belinda Paris, right? Because we love Belinda Paris. So we give it up for Belinda Paris. Belinda Paris is an amazing career coach and leader. How are you doing today, Belinda Paris?
I am doing very well. Thanks, Ed.
Now, I know this is your first Boss Ladies Summit with us. And I just want to ask you, any answer's great. What does embracing equity mean to you?
Do you know what? I can't believe that in 2023, we're still having this conversation. For me, it's about just everybody having an equal opportunity, regardless of race, gender, whatever it is. And, having spent over 20 years in recruitment and, still having these conversations, it just blows my mind.
So just on that point, so were you having these conversations 20 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, definitely. So nothing's changed. So
nothing's changed.
Wonderful, great. Well, thank God we're here to at least try and talk about the problem, So 20 years ago, you're having this conversation. 20 years later, here we are, just Groundhog Day. Is that a tragically fair way of putting it?
Pretty much. Although I think there's probably more equity than there was previously. Women do have a slightly more seats at the table, but there is definitely still the inequity in regards to pay and also in regards to a lot of time career.
Oh my God, you talked about pay and career. We're going to come back to you, Belinda, because that's awesome. Give it up for Belinda. We love you. As you can tell, Belinda Paris, amazing career coach and leader. We love you. So let's bounce over to Nant just for the opening question. Nant, what does embracing equity mean to you? And what do you think of what you've heard so far?
As Belinda said, I think it's obviously important that we're all not only perceived and seen, but we are equal. However, we're not the same. So I think a lot of this has gone more towards we're the same. And I think it's beiging down a lot of people. And I disagree with the fact that I actually think we've come a very long way from 20 years ago. And I think there are an enormous amount of opportunities. And I actually think we need to help men and focus on men a little more. Because as women have come up and we've recognized that women deserve a lot of things, a lot of men have been pushed down because of that, or punished, or told, you've had a good seat for 70 years or 100 years or whatever it is, you need to take a seat. That's not how we create equity. We create it by lifting everyone, not punishing one group. So I think it's really important that we actually take on board what it means, which is, doesn't matter what's happened in the past. Right now, we want to lift everyone and have everyone be equal, but not the same.
Yeah. And it's a great point. It's a great point. I remember this is an experience that happened to me. So I was years ago in the workplace, and agreeing with what Belinda said, I think some things have changed and some things haven't. I think you're all both correct. I remember I was at the workplace, and this fantastic lady who I was very good friends with started. And in her department, she was it was an engineering department. She was the first one there. And we were all told, support her, let's get more women in, and I was all for it. But I remember there was an interesting dynamic. They actually said to me, this is where it got a little bit odd. They said to me, Ed, but yeah, you'll need to sort of sit down and shut up and give us space. Awesome. Then one of them found out I came from an Arabic background. And they had this weird conversation where we were saying, oh, well, Ed, because you're an Arab, you're still allowed to speak up. So just this weird situation, right? Weird situation. So you all know where I'm going, right? But it's just bizarre. But we'll come back to you, Nat. There you go. Round of applause to Nat. We love you, Nat.
Thank you.
Oh, Eileen and Vard, great seeing you yesterday. You are a rock star, or Friday, I should say. What do you think of what you've heard so far, and what does embracing equity mean to you? Awesome, Eileen and Vard.
I just love what I heard so far about having equal, lifting everybody up and having it just as many both men and women at the table. And I particularly liked what Nat was saying is about when we lift women up, it is not about suppressing the men. It's about lifting everybody, creating that space. And if we can create a space that is warm, that is safe, that's non-judgmental, then even as we're lifting up the women, the men who's in a very vulnerable space before, who has been just using their outer to push their way through, now suddenly felt that it's okay if I step aside to embrace another person stepping in. I am not being judged, but I feel I'm allowing other people to come and share the space. That, to me, is embracing equality. But how often do we have people like that? Because sometimes we come from an outer, rather from a fulfilled space, that when we allow the space for others, it does not mean that it has expand of us. And so when we create that, it is about stepping aside. It's like what the Tao say, being soft. It's like water. It's like being soft without being that you disadvantage. So embracing equality mean lifting everybody up, stepping aside, allowing others without us feeling small. That's my share. Thanks, Anne.
I love it. Brilliant. And it's so true, as like Belinda and Anna said, equal opportunity is as part of it, right? Of course it is. But then not everyone has the same level of privilege, or they're created equal. So the problem is, if you have a level playing field, different people have different advantages and disadvantages. But then how much do you artificially manipulate that? So this is where it all becomes very controversial, right? But no, I got to say, love your work, Eileen and Vard. And Eileen, round of applause to Eileen. And I got to see Eileen and also Nant on Friday in Melbourne. Eileen, you rocked the room as always, which is incredible. And just to let you know very quickly, we've got Karen Clark who's coming. Let's all wave to Karen Clark. We love you, Karen Clark.
Hi.
Karen, we'll come back to you. We're going to hear from fabulous. It's no longer Loretta Remy. It's now fabulous Loretta, which I agree with. That's the upgrade. And her call sign's fabulous. My call sign's Airlines. So there you go. So it's good. So if you all want a call sign, feel free to add it. So fabulous Loretta, great to have you with us. What do you think so far? I'd love to hear your thoughts, fabulous Loretta.
I am loving all the thoughts of the women before me. Great perspective and stuff. When I first was thinking about it, a couple of things came to mind. First, I think Belinda had mentioned about the pay differential. Women are still, in the United States at least, about 21 cents less on the dollar than men are. So that's a little bit of a disparity we need to correct for, same job, same position. And then the other thing is, there have been women that have broken the glass ceiling, or whatever you might call it, and gotten in positions. And just recently we had our Super Bowl on here in America, and one of the big things talked about was we now have a woman coach for an NFL team, and we have a woman referee. But why are they referred to as women referee or women coach? Why isn't it just a new coach or a new referee? So I think we add undue spotlight, which could could be considered an inequality. You know, men say, well, why are they getting the attention when it's just the same position and stuff? So it was just an interesting little point that I thought of when we were when you first opened up the discussion.
Oh, brilliant. Well said, Fabulous Loretta. And and we're going to hear from Karen Clark shortly. And also, too, we've got Master Coach Sonia who's coming. Can we wave to Master Coach Sonia? We love you, Master. We're going to hear from Karen Clark shortly. And just a quick, just want to check in with our wonderful viewers. Thank you for our wonderful viewers today. We've got a great crowd. If you just come in, smash that like, repost, comment, and connect with these wonderful ladies on LinkedIn. We've got Jean Marie Russo, who loves it. Good seeing you, Jean Marie. We've got John Telson. We've got Jay Shri Sanaki. Good seeing you, Jay Shri. We've got Sabina New Payne. We've got Peter Felson. We've got Jacqueline Price and a great stack of people. So please drop a comment, smash that like and share. Now, interestingly, I think it's quite interesting. The whole, I agree with Loretta. When you go too far and saying, oh, my God, it's a woman coach. Oh, my God, it's a woman engineer. I think it's patronizing, actually. I think it's sort of like, I think the whole trying not to be sexist becomes patronizing. So I couldn't agree with you more, because I've always been colorblind and gender blind. I'm very much the best human for the job, right? I guess when we start working with aliens, I'll have to become more inclusive of aliens, but for now, I just say best human for the job, right? so soon I'll be a human, but I couldn't agree with you more. I think making a big deal of women doing something, what about the person? Okay, I get they're a woman, but what about the human? I couldn't agree with you more. Fabulous about it.
But can I just say, do we have to take in mind who's asking for that? Because a lot of people right now are asking to be made sure that they're identified, or made sure that they're recognized. So we need to take into account why they're doing this. Do they feel they need to because women have said, we want you to recognize us, we want you to represent us? Or is it on their own doing and they're going too far? Absolutely. Because it should just be referee, no problem. But why? What's the underlying reason why this is happening?
Oh, my God. And to underlying reasons, we've got Karen Clark. Now, Karen Clark is an amazing quantum coach and a brilliant leader. And Karen, please don't say anything that will get our live stream shut down, because Karen, if you want to see like someone who drops red pills all day, look no further than Karen Clark. So, Karen, please answer the question, but keep our live stream intact. Over to you, Karen Clark. What do you think?
Hi, Ed. Hi, everyone. Hi, Nant. Nice to see you. I think last time I saw you was in Sydney. And Belinda, and of course, Aileen.
Go the red pill.
So I don't know what the question is. I'm so sorry I came in late.
Oh, no problem. We'll hear. So what we're talking about embracing equity, right? And, again, it's a controversial topic. There's different ways of looking at the same thing. And I just want to maybe just get your reactions. What does embracing equity mean to you, Karen Clark? And what are some of your reactions to some of the cool stuff you've heard so far?
Yeah. Well, I came in on the women-men equity thing, which is always like you say, a controversial topic. And first of all, I'd like to say that equity for me is fairness and justice. So how I embrace it is, it doesn't matter, like you said, Ed, what colour someone is, or what gender, or what religion. And colour's a big thing too these days. What nationality, what their heritage is, what country they come from, what their culture is. It doesn't matter to me. Equity is, fairness and justice has no eyes. And so to treat people with respect, with love, with equality, as if they're equal to you or I, is the way that I would say I attempt to live out equity.
Oh, brilliant. We love you, Karen. Amazing, Karen. Round of applause to you. We'll come back to you. And let's hear from Master Coach Sonia. Master Coach Sonia, so good having you with us. Master Coach Sonia, please, we've got all call signs now. We've got Master Coach Fabulous Airline. So next time I have to do all call signs for everyone. So Loretta started the call sign. Master Coach Sonia, please tell us what embracing equity means to you, and what do you think of all the great points you've heard so far?
I believe that, embracing equity is trying to come to a more equal equal area for all, where, you know, no matter what your background, your gender, any your status, you know, we need to be treated like a person, a human being, and, you know, to embrace that first by looking at the human being and not the, you know, the person, I mean, the picture that you see in front of you, because, you know, we're and we all want to be treated equal. It is, you know, embracing the equity. Like when my kids were little, you know, we did not know racism, for example. And I told them if they saw a person that had a different color skin than them, that they're still God's children and that we love them just like we would love ourselves. And so, you know, that stuck with them. And, you know, my father, though, he was in an older generation and very racist toward Black people. And, you know, when we were down there visiting him one time, he made a comment, like said the N-word in front of my kids. And man, I flew all over my dad when I got him by himself. And I said, I don't teach my kids to see color.
Yeah.
They see a human being. And so in the HR standpoint, when all the years I've worked with people that their talents, their knowledge, their skills, their abilities, and what they can offer and help, you know, with whatever task at hand is or that role, that they can fulfill that role. And, you know, it doesn't matter who they are or what they look like. And so I think, you know, is about bringing it to an equal level, that everyone's on an equal level. No one's better than anybody. No one's less than anybody. We're all equal.
Yeah. Oh, well said. Master Coach Sonia, we absolutely love it. And a big thank you. And just so you know, if you've chimed in, please like, share, and comment. We've got John Telson, Sabina Newpain. Sabina Newpain, who's watching. We love you, Sabina, makes a good point. Just need to come together as one community without the bias of genders, embracing all walks of life, which is fantastic. And John Telson's with it. Now, Belinda Paris, who's an amazingly powerful lady, made the good point. She talked about the good old income inequality. Women get paid less than men. That's a true issue. I see that as one of the biggest issues, because at the end of the day, you can put out whatever slogans you like. If someone's get less money, that's it. They're behind. So we're going to start with Belinda Paris. And I've seen it too. I have seen in the workplace, women get paid less. I've seen it myself, right? So Belinda Paris, I want to get your thoughts on, do women get paid less and why? And of course, how do we change that? Over to you, Belinda Paris.
Do women get paid less? I would say to a large extent, depending on the level of that, you know, that they are. You know, I'm looking at it from a lens of having spent 20 years recruiting senior finance people. So when it comes to, you know, CFOs or their direct reports, you know, there's still a lot of differentiation between salaries. But as you know, as someone who was always an advocate for whoever was getting the role, you know, I would always make sure that they were being offered the same, whether they were male or female. But I think part of it potentially is that I think we're men and women being wired differently, and I see it all the time, and even with my career coaching, is, you know, it's women have to look at a role and go, I can do a lot of the time, I can hit everything on there. I'll apply for the role. Whereas a male may look at it and go, well, I can do maybe 50 or 60%. I'll do this. So I think it's potentially how we're wired, and you know, we're intrinsically different. You know, we do have different you know, different ways of approaching things, but why? I don't know, and it's really I guess frustrating, as I said, to see it still happening now. But you know, I think there's definitely been a lot of road made up over the last 20 or so years.
Oh, Well said, Belinda Paris. Amazing. And Jean Marie Russo, who's with us, makes a good point. Not only paid less, but treated with respect and needing to work harder and prove ourselves more. I've seen that. I couldn't agree with that more. I've seen, let's assume equal pay just for the sake of this construct. The woman will have to work harder than the man, right? And I've seen, again, we're not here to talk about racism so much, but I'm an Arab guy. I've always had to work harder than the non-Arab character, if you know what I mean. That's been a constant theme in my life. But anyway, Belinda, just incredible and just amazing. And Nat, we love you, Nat. What do you think, Nat? And again, please don't get our live stream shut down, but we love you, Nat. What are you thinking? Awesome, Nat.
I could, I won't, but look, I need to be, I need to see the figures and be much more informed to be able to really make a discussion out of it without getting it shut down. But I really think if we're really honest about wanting equality, we need to move forward. It can't be about, in 20 years ago I saw this and 70 years ago I saw this. And it needs to be about right now, what do we want to do? How can we support each other? How can we help each other? And obviously, it's for the same role. It needs to be about the results that we bring and the value that we contribute into an organization or the world or, our loved ones. That's, it's logical and realistic and clear. But I don't know if we're going about it in sometimes the best ways. So
Yep.
I think it's really important that we move forward now. And because I see a lot of men in the workplace sticking up for women, a lot.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. And a lot of men saying, hey, I know a great woman for this position. Hey, I know a great woman for this board. Let's interview them as well. So I know a lot of men out there that are really supportive of women and want them to be succeeding. So I think we need to just come together and help each other.
Oh, now it's funny you say that. Obviously, I'm not going to out the company here, but one time I was actually working with a big corporate, and they were talking about, would a man or a woman be better in this role? And I was like, I don't think we should.
Results.
Yeah, and I gave the Nissan Belinda Paris answer saying, what about the best person?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I was just like, whoa, wrong conversation. So there you go, wrong conversation. Nat, we love you. Give it up for Nat. Nat, we love you.
Thanks, guys.
Let's hear from Eileen Avard. Eileen Avard, what do you think on the whole pay difference, and what's your take on what you're hearing so far?
Well, I have been a small business owner. So for me, it is about who is the best person could do the job. So we employed, in the business that we had over for 30 years, who is the best person? It does not matter your color. It does not matter your gender. It is the best person for the job. But then I also recognize that men are wired differently to the women. The men are stronger. There are more things that they can do physically. And that's a fact that I recognize. And being a woman, I sometimes like to say, I say things in my household to say, I cannot do without a man in the house. All right. And if I say that to other women who are single women, they say, oh my God, they will roll their eye. Why would I cannot do without a man, even simply to change a light bulb. It does not mean that I do not know how to do that. I just love their company. So men and women are wired differently. We have different functions. We nurture. And I love the men having around. They can do a physical thing. So about paying, getting equal pay in the corporate world is probably very much so. But in the world that I move in the small business world, we pay according to their ability. And I love to have both. So we have different nationality in our company. We have people that are mothers who have young children. They have shorter hours. We embrace all of that. So equality is about create a space that people say, I love here. I want to contribute. And so that's my space of embracing equality.
Oh, well said, Eileen Ivana. I love it. And there you go. Just incredible. And to our friend, we're going to hear from Fabulous Loretta shortly. I'm just going to go through some of the great comments. If you just come in, hit that like, repost, comment, connect with these amazing ladies on LinkedIn. And I got a great thought from Jean Marie Russo. And Jean Marie Russo is talking about elevating women on their competencies, skill, knowledge, experience, which is fantastic. Sabina Newpayne makes a good point, and this is the bit I agree on. I've seen this a lot. I love this point. Sabina Newpayne says this: women are not trained to speak up for a very early age. We're given dolls to play with and get the man to make money, which is heavily engaged and why now thinking process. Yep, we're now aware and let's support those shortcomings and help them go and beyond this community. So, for example, right, I used to be a homeless veteran living in my car, right, and I was sitting there dreaming about being a big master coach and traveling around. Happened about 10 years later, which is great. And interestingly, even though at the time I had barely any competencies to achieve that, but I still went for it because I just didn't care. But I agree with you. I find that women are they're very thorough with jobs, for example. If I don't tick all the boxes, I won't go for it. I'm a overambitious Arab male. If I'm breathing and I tick 1 out of 10 boxes, I'll throw my hat in the ring. So I don't know if that's part of it, but that's an interesting one. Fabulous Loretta. What do you think, Fabulous Loretta? Tell us everything.
Well, I was reading Serena's comments and definitely agree in everything that as women, we don't stand up for ourselves enough. We don't stand up for other women enough. And I think that's a shortcoming of ours, and that we need to just change that and everything, manifest what we want and go ahead and go for it and everything. I think I've been, many years now going through, listening to the inequalities of men and women. And I think it's about time that doesn't happen anymore, that we shouldn't have to even have this discussion today, because, we should be, by now, we should have gotten the ball moving and the snowball, catapulting through to equality for all the sexes.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I like Belinda's opening sort of comment, right? I think Belinda set it up beautifully when she said, I was having this conversation 20 years ago. What the hell's going on? I think, in some ways we've moved. In some ways, I think nothing's changed, So I think it's a bit of a tragedy, actually. Here we are today, Fabulous Loretta.
Yeah, Belinda, it's even longer for me. It's more than 20 years that we've been talking about these inequalities and talking about, I remember, being told to take typing and stenography in high school and stuff, because you always want to have those skills to be a secretary in case whatever else doesn't work or something. And I'm like, no. So I suck at typing, which really sucks now in the computer world, but I just didn't want to do that because that wasn't my path.
Yeah. No, crazy. And I remember hearing things like that. Well, if you're a woman, you should do this. If you're a guy, you should do that. And it's like, oh, come on. That's, crazy. But now, Fabulous Loretta, we love you, Fabulous Loretta. Just amazing. And oh my God, we got the Karen Clark with us. It's like, I can only imagine one time Karen Clark and Nant are going to hang out together. They both carry big bags of red pills they drop everywhere. And Karen Clark, what do you think, awesome Karen Clark?
Oh my gosh, so many good points have come up and from all different angles. So yes, Loretta, when I was at school, I was brought up that girls can do anything by my parents. As you know, I learned to ride a motorcycle when I was 12. I had one when I was 15 with my license, etc. And that's because of how my parents brought me up. And when it came to choosing the subjects to take in college, you were right. They said the girls can either go the professional way where they were going to university, or they do the homecraft sewing. I forget what they called it. And I did the sciences because, I was like, I'm not doing that stuff, although I did do one thing. I did sewing, I think, and home economics. But yeah, it's very different now. One thing I do want to say and address, Aileen, yes, I love to say make the man the hero. But that's in our personal lives, right? It's or anywhere, actually, even at work. Men like to, and no disrespect, and I hope it doesn't sound condescending, Ed, but men like to feel that they can do something and contribute to anyone, whether it's a man or a woman, by saying, "Hey, I need help with this. Can you reach up there? I can't reach. I'm only 5'2". And it's a gift to ask someone to do something for us, whether they are female or male, but often we can ask a man to do things, and that's a contribution. So let's not become so independent that we say we can do anything. We don't need men. Not that I like to use that word need, but we don't want men around. As far as the job scene goes, and Belinda, yeah, you're amazing with what you say. I totally agree. There's still inequality according to the stats. However, I think there are two issues. One is sometimes some people, when they're making the decisions around who's getting a job or what they're getting paid, are discriminatory. Is that the word? How do you say that? And they do look at things like, well, a man could do this better. So it depends on who's there. There are a lot of old dinosaurs still running companies and hanging on there with their very antiquated male chauvinistic attitudes. So there's that issue which still hasn't gone away yet. There are many, many people coming through, or even people who are elderly who don't hold those thoughts, those opinions, like my dad, who's now 90. However, I do think that a lot of women do resist putting themselves forward. So we have to take a part in this. We are responsible. And if I give you an example, I have a daughter who's a lawyer. And in her second year from qualifying at university, she was in a job, and I saw on LinkedIn that she said she'd been made an associate in year 2 or year 3, an associate lawyer, which is very unusual. And so she didn't tell me first, she put it on LinkedIn. And so anyway, I contacted her and said, hey, congratulations, that's amazing. Tell me, did you ask for that promotion, or were you offered it first? And you know what her answer is? She said, Mum, I asked for it because I knew I was capable. I knew I was already doing the job, right? And so I knew I was worthy of it. So I went to my boss, the owner, and I said, I want to be made associate. And you see a lot of, and if you can differentiate without being discriminatory, this is how a lot of men are brought up, just to strut your stuff, to be confident, to go and say, I can do this. And when we do it as women, we get that equality. So that's what I think.
Wow, just incredible, just incredible. And I love where you're going. It's funny because in my experiences, I've almost always seen men very supportive of women in the workplace. So it's funny. It's interesting to see what's going on. Only here and there have I heard the odd dig at a woman. So there you go. So yeah, it's interesting. I think it's the whole systems versus culture as well, and also too, you might have equal opportunities, but do people ask? It is true. It is very notably true. Generally speaking, men are more aggressive in what they're asking for.
Yeah, and also, Ed, some people are going to be like that anyway. They're going to dig at anyone, whether they're a man or a woman. Some people have such a low self-esteem, or they've got bullying problems or whatever, that they're going to do those things. And you might say they're doing it to a woman, but then the next day they might do it to a man. Maybe we don't notice when they do it to a man, So it's a personality thing, or a lack of, confidence or self-esteem that some people do. But because we're on this woman-man equality thing, we all jump on the train and say, hey, they're treating women unequally. Well, they might treat everyone unequally.
Yeah. Can I just say, you brought up needing, excuse me, men. And, yeah. But I think that's how a community works. So I'm only very good at this many things. I'm very bad at this many things. But, you know, my neighbor, my accountant, my lawyer, my barista, they're great at what they do. And that's how a community works. You know, we do need each other. And that's society. That's a human society, that we need each other, and we can say, yeah, I need your help because you're great at that and I'm not. And that's okay. And it's not about women and men. It's about the fact that you're
Working
great at
together.
something, I'm not. So in a community, I come to you and say, can I get your help with this? Can I get your expertise? So I think we in many cases need to stop with the gender and just accept the fact that we don't need to be great at everything, but we do need each other.
Oh, fascinating. There we go. Great discussion. Love you, amazing winners. Now, I just want to check in with Master Coach Sonia very shortly. So I'm just going to have a check-in with our fans. We've got Lani Witz with us. Lani Witz is talking about teamwork, community, and loving it. Great seeing you, Lani Witz. Sabine is loving the thoughts, especially of Karen Clark and more. And Faisy, Grace, got Faisy with us, is talking about how we've come a long way. And a lot of women do have new voices, which is fantastic. So there we go. And one of our friends, pardon me if I can't read all the names, one of our friends has said, women have to work a lot harder in instances to get the same credibility. Oh, definitely have seen that tragically. Very much have seen that. Master Coach Sonia, you are an amazing lady. Master Coach Sonia, please, what do you think of all the great things that you've heard? Love to hear your thoughts, Master Coach Sonia.
I think everybody has touched on a lot of great things that, like we're talking about. It's not necessarily about gender, you know, but people make it about gender. And as we are brought into this world, there are a lot of stereotypes that men should do certain things, or boys should do certain things, and girls should do this and go on this path. So, you know, we have two different paths. And so, you know, I know over the last 20 years or so that there have been a lot more opportunities for women to get into other fields that was once not a field that women would generally get in, like IT, for example. You know, the IT field is predominantly men. The human resource field is predominantly women. But now I have seen a big change and a big shift that it's not balanced out yet, but, you know, it is being encouraged to focus on going after what you're passionate about and what you love doing. And you know, if you like to solve problems, IT, you know, is all about problem solving. If you like to help people, serve people, human resources is all about helping people and putting out fires with, you know, people. So in this example, and then you know, it reminded me too when Karen was talking about the inequalities that we see. It made me think of the movie Grease. Are you guys familiar with the movie Grease? With Sandra Dee and Danny? Well, look how Sandy was when she started in the film. She was the goody two shoes, you know, pure, and, you know, never did anything, you know, that was outside the norm or outside that boundary. She was a good girl. But then Danny, he was, you know, one of the T-birds, one of the, you know, the main guys they looked up to because he was the cool one. Well, then it's funny that how they tried to change to be more part of each other's worlds, but then they basically pushed each other away because they weren't being who they truly were. And like Danny becoming a jock and Sandy becoming a pink lady. So, you know, throughout that movie, we see the shift in dynamics between their characters. But, you know, when you look at it to, you know, apply it to what we see in schools today, you know, with girls and boys, you know, they're doing a lot of the same activities. Like I never thought I would see girls playing football with the boy football players, or wrestling, girl wrestlers, and then but I and there's something else that I think Nan said um, about being more aggressive as women. You know, we do need to focus on what we are capable of doing, and have that self-awareness of what our future can hold if we go after it, and to keep climbing that mountain. Even though we may get pushed down and told no, that doesn't mean you have to give up or have to stop. You just have to keep moving forward. You have to move that what do you call it, that benchmark. You have to keep pushing, so that, you know, you're setting an example for other women or young girls behind you, so that way they know that it's possible. But if you don't try, you'll never know.
Ooh.
But you know, I think with you know, the people out there, you know that no matter who you are, what you do, what your background is, that if you come and you give 100% your best, and you keep doing that, you know, that's gonna pay off and help you play it forward for your future. So that's
Brilliant.
And then and tying back around to Karen when she was talking about her daughter, you know, her daughter went and asked for that associate, and you don't see a lot of lawyers making associate after their second or third year. It's many years, and so that's a great achievement for your daughter. But she had the confidence, and she had the you know, I don't like the word aggressive, but
The drive. The
she
drive.
she carried herself with authority,
Yeah.
and she knew what she deserved, and she got it.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Master Coach Sonia, we absolutely love you. Now, we're actually got about 18 minutes left. We're coming towards the end. So I want to ask all our panelists the simple question. This is what we're going to go through. What's the one thing that we should do to improve equity for women? That's the question. What's the one thing that we should do? And of course, we're going to start with Belinda Paris, right? Belinda Paris, it's the first time on the Boss Ladies Summit. And of course, we put her up first because Belinda Paris is a legend. Belinda, what's the one thing we should do to improve and embrace equity?
Look, I think it should be just everyone is treated on their merits, whether they're male, female, whatever pronoun they want to use. And I think it shouldn't be to the detriment of another person or another sex. So it should just be completely equal. And I think it's just going to be a generational thing. As each generation comes through, we're seeing more and more women going into, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I know my generation, we were very much, we were pushed towards those areas. So I think it's just removing the gender bias, and as women, believing in ourselves, removing that imposter syndrome, and really asking for what we want, and not being afraid to, and I heard the word aggressive come up, and it's quite interesting. A man can be confident, and a woman may do the same thing and be seen as aggressive, and it's always that perception. But when it comes down to it, I think it's basically embracing our natural skills, our natural talents, and not looking at sex as or race or anything else as a barrier to entry. And once again, as Nance said, there's at times there's reverse gender bias, and men are stepped down, held down, to promote women for a lot of the time for numbers or for perception, which is to me equally as wrong. So I think it's about women being confident and comfortable in being able to ask for what they want, and believe that they deserve what they want.
Oh, fantastic. And quotas is a very interesting debating point, and has some interesting legal ramifications too. I was talking to one of my friends who's a commercial attorney, and she says, yeah, the whole quota thing, oh, that's a very interesting legal area, which is a whole other conversation for another time. So there you go. But there we go. Fantastic. We're certainly opening the can of worms, and we will definitely not be able to explore them all. But great one, Belinda. Love it. Nat, what's your one thought for us to do to improve the equity of women?
Well, I could probably answer that in an hour. So can I give you 2 thoughts? I'll try not to take LinkedIn down.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
I think obviously this is a big topic, and I could go on and on, but I think a really important thing is that I can say, yep, at school we did a quiz or whatever you meant to do, and I was told I should be a florist, and I was given ridiculous things. And I remember actually asking a family member, I need to work out which subjects I need to do, and they said, well, it doesn't matter because you'll either get married or be a receptionist.
Oh God.
So I grew up with that too, but it doesn't do any good for me to focus on it and then to say, well, you guys didn't get that when you grew up, so you need to take a seat to let me up. We need to focus on moving forward now. It's very, very important. And we need to stop punishing the men for what's happened in the past, and we need to work together to lift each other up. And I think the other thing is, as much as I really believe that most people do not care where you come from, do not care what gender. They care in the business world about results and the value you bring. And in a personal sense, they care if you're a good person. What energy do I feel when I meet you? Are you a kind person? Are you going to do the right thing? Do we have the same standards and values? So that's number one. But secondly, I actually think it's really important that when we have friends of different cultures and different backgrounds, that we ask them about it and try to understand from them, what was it like growing up for you? What is your culture like? Tell me about yourself. So instead of just saying, well, I don't see color, race, religion, gender, we actually say, did you want to talk about it?
No.
I'd like to learn more about you. It's the only way forward, I think, is to try and actually get to know each other and learn about each other and each other's backgrounds. And what would you find respectful? What's right for you? We can't just blanket everything out and treat each other the same. We need to treat each other equally. But as I said before, we're not the same. So we need to try and understand each other's differences and bring those into the world respectfully.
Oh, brilliant, Nan. Brilliant. And I'm still loving that someone thought you should become a florist. I would have said cop or army officer.
I know, florist.
Yeah, it's like,
what would you say?
It's like, I am a florist. What? No.
But with all respect to florists, I'm just not very good at flower arrangements. I wish I was, but no.
Yeah. I'm more easier to arrest people or command troops. I think that's more you, Nan.
Thank you. That's much more.
Maybe you definitely need to hire Belinda Paris or Master Coach Sonia and become an army officer later in life. So they can actually. No, we love you. No, Nat's an amazing leader. Nat, we love you. Round of applause to Nat.
Thank you.
Nat the florist. That's funny. I like that. Nat the florist. That's funny. Legendary Karen Clark, what is the one thing that you say we can do to embrace equity and improve it for women?
Okay, so I just want to add, my daughter is a commercial lawyer in the construction industry, by the way, not just fantastic. Any legal industry, so very male-oriented. And what I think we can do to improve things with women is to instill confidence and self-belief. That women can do whatever we choose to do, and whatever we choose to do well, we will do well. Everyone will benefit by learning to how to have more self-worth, more confidence, and self-belief, not just women. However, if we instill that in women, that you can do whatever you want, whatever you choose to do, whatever career you choose to go for, you're capable of doing it. When I was 30 years ago, I had an automotive business, and we employed women. We took on women mechanics as the training mechanics. So you can do anything you want, and to instill women with that confidence and that self-worth so that they can choose whatever career path they want, and they can go through the way my daughter did and speak their mind around whatever role, whatever level they want to do, they know they're capable of, and go and ask for it. That's what I think. It's the best thing that we can do for women. Is the best thing we can do for women.
Karen, incredible. Love it. Amazing, Karen. And fabulous Loretta. What are your thoughts, fabulous Loretta? What should we do?
I think overall everyone, but I think especially women, is we have to open our mouths. We have to ask for what we want. Just like Karen's daughter, hooray for her. I was in a corporate job there for many years and expecting them to just say, oh, I think we're going to promote you now. And it doesn't work that way and everything. Yeah. And finally, somebody, a mentor of mine said, Loretta, that I hurt myself by not trying to, promote to other positions, maybe other areas of the company or so forth, or even move to other companies by just sitting back and waiting and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then when I finally opened my mouth, then I started to get, more opportunity and so forth. So I think we just need to open our mouths and start asking for things. Men usually have no problem asking for what they want, putting their, like you said, throwing their hat in the ring and so forth. So I think women have to do the same too. Have that self-confidence, believe in themselves, and go ahead and go for it.
Oh, this is amazing, fabulous, Lorraine. I remember, I couldn't agree with you more. And I remember I was in an interesting position once where one of my staff members was asking, she was awesome, by the way, she ended up getting the promotion. She actually wanted a promotion, right? And she had to ask me for the promotion, then I had to ask the general manager. That's the pecking order, right? And we were good friends, so we actually had a secret. She goes, Ed, how do I ask you for more money or a promotion? And so what I actually did was we caught up secretly. I told her how to basically negotiate with me and push me around. And then the next day she came and did that. And then I could go to the GM and get her the money. So there you go. So I sort of took off my work hat for the moment, told her how to do it. Then, oh my God, I can't believe she asked for money in the morning. Where did that come from? So there you go. But I feel good. I made millions of dollars for that employer, so believe me, there was definitely the money to pay her a few grand extra. So that fabulous, Loretta, love it. Master Coach Sonia, thank you. We love you, Master Coach Sonia. What should we do? Tell us what we should do, Master Coach Sonia. Love to hear your thoughts.
Well, everybody has really said a lot of things I would say, but to add to that is, know every day that you are going to make a difference. You are somebody that can, achieve your dreams. You just have to own it. You have to, keep moving the needle forward, and along the way, treat others how you want to be treated, because that goes a long way, and that's going to help you have more supporters. Too, to help you support you to get your goal likewise. And so I think that embracing, this is one of the things I was telling Ed, is that you have to embrace your empowered self to be able to, rediscover who you are. There may be some areas that you want to work on so that way you can rise to the top, reclaim what is yours. Don't let someone take something from you when you know it's rightfully yours. pursue it and achieve it. And then you'll revitalize yourself. Look at your goals, look at where you want to be. Are you in the right field for you? Are you doing the things that you enjoy and that you're passionate about? And if not, look at what you are passionate about, and then you may see that you're more successful because you're doing what you love. And then and also professionally, make sure you know what your brand is, because the way you show up makes all the difference in the world. You want to show up with confidence and your story. Know your stories, especially when you're looking for that new job, because the stories and the conversations that you can have is going to make a lasting impact to help you get to that next level, because people buy into you and they want to get to know you. So your credibility also goes a long way. So if you do those things, you're going to rise to the top of where you want to be.
Absolutely brilliant, Master Coach Sonia. Love it. And we also too got one of my old friends, Perry Pomana. I know Perry well, Perry Pomana. He's a wonderful veteran. Great seeing you, Perry. He's a fine man tuning in. And also got a friend, Steph Gabriel, with us. We love you, Steph. Steph says, morning, ladies in Edward. Women need to be more assertive and build communities to continue to support women. I couldn't agree more. I think that is just absolutely fantastic. So we're coming towards the end of the Boss Ladies Summit. So please hit that like, repost, comment. And also too, please keep these ladies on LinkedIn. Now we're going to spend about half a minute on each of these ladies. They're going to quickly tell us what they do and how they can help you. So if you love any of these ladies and you're interested in hiring them, please reach out to them on LinkedIn. Belinda Paris, please, the soapbox is yours. Tell us what you do and how you help people, Belinda Paris.
Okay, so I'm an international career coach. So I work with people who are looking to take that next step in their career, whether it be with professional branding, gaining clarity, working on their mindset, and helping them secure the role of their dreams.
Oh, Belinda, well said. We love you, Belinda. And Belinda and we go back many, many years. We actually met on Facebook originally, and then eventually we we saw the light and discovered LinkedIn, of course. So there we go. We actually met on Facebook. I think about 10 years ago on Facebook, I remember seeing Belinda Paris a long time ago. There we go. Big thank you. Nan Nissen, please tell us half a minute what you do and how you help people.
Thanks, Ed. I'm a men's health coach and a workplace wellbeing strategist. Helping both to regain their power, performance, and purpose. So I do that through the 4 pillars of optimal health: physical, mental, emotional, and soulful. So making sure that we use health as the base to make sure that you're actually thriving in life instead of just surviving.
Oh, I've been there, Nan. Nan is powerful. Please correct with that. Nan is also on our leadership team for our Melbourne meetups, and absolutely fantastic. So Nan, so good having you with us.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Karen Clark, half a minute. Tell us about how you help people.
I help my clients. I'm a quantum coach, and I help my clients through mindset and transformation and teach them. I work with my clients to understand what really causes our results and how to change them through connecting up from our spiritual side to the quantum realm and universal laws. Everything is energy, and how we can be aware of the energy we're operating at and change it to attract what it is we want in life, what we would love in life.
Oh my God, Karen, well said. And Karen's a very, very popular and powerful lady, and also is on the leadership team for our Brisbane meetups as well. Fantastic job, Karen. There we go. And fabulous Loretta, please tell us what you do. Half a minute. How do you help people, fabulous Loretta?
I help people age in reverse through premium quality products that are vegan, gluten-free, non-toxic, and Leaping Bunny certified in hair care, skin care, and wellness. So beauty from within. And I'm international. So I help in many countries now.
Oh, excellent. And fabulous Loretta, based in Florida. She also works with wonderful Lassie in Monet. So there we go. We love you, fabulous Loretta. So there you go. Fantastic. And finishing up, last but not least, amazing Master Coach Sonia. Quick, half a minute, please tell us what you do and how you help people, Master Coach Sonia.
Thank you. I help transform people's lives financially, professionally, and personally through development. And I also certify individuals to become life coaches. And I'm also in Monate with Loretta and Lassie, and bringing aging backwards. And we help people all across the world, and it's really exciting. So I'm based out of Florida, but I help people all over.
Oh my God. And Master Coach Sonia, again, we've known each other for a long time. Works with Lassie and Master Coach Sonia very sharply. And do you live like next door to Loretta now? Or like you guys besties? Where do you live?
Well,
We live across the state.
Oh,
yeah,
it's like, what, 3 hour drive, 3 or 4 hour drive, right?
yeah,
like that.
We're roomies. We roomed together in
Yes.
National Convention. We had a blast. She's awesome.
Fantastic. And also, too, just want to give a final shout to wonderful Lassie, who created the concept as well, who's absolutely incredible. So please connect with Lassie as well. She's absolutely amazing. And friends, this is a wrap. See you all next time. Please round of applause and thank you again so very much all.